Well, welcome back, everybody, for another glorious and entertaining and, most of all, I think, informational episode of Homesick Philly Bros. This is presented by AML Media. After Alberta Marie Labordi, the Saint. Thank you, Mom. Love you, Mom. Rachel, why don't you get us into our plugs? We got a lot to talk about this week, so we'll just get straight into stuff.
Okay, we are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All of our social media handles are on the screen, so take a screenshot if you're watching the video, or you can go to our website to find all of our links there. Our website is aml.news.blog.
Thank you very much for that. This was a bit of a stressful week where it shouldn't have, so let's just start off with a
crack one.
I needed it this past Sunday. However, the Eagles did win. We beat the Bears 25-20. Score's not a great indicator of how the game really went for us across the board. This was a win. A win's a win is a win, especially in the NFL. It was cold there. A lot of back and forths, we'll call it, but we were correct, but pretty wrong in regards to our score predictions.
Yeah.
I had the Eagles blowing them out of the water at 48-12 with an Eagles victory, and you had them at 35-21. So
I almost got the Bears score right.
You almost got the Bears score right. We just thought that this was going to be in the bag. We were saying we think that the starters might be out going into the, by the fourth quarter or whatever. They kept it tight. Justin Fields is an impressive specimen. Man, can he do some things with his legs.
Yeah.
Even though we had some sacks, some of those, the guy's an escape artist. We knew that. But he did also get it done with his arm a little bit.
Sort of.
Yeah.
On some broken plays, yeah.
Which happened because he was able to scramble, and you can't cover forever. And one just little quick thing, I thought might be something goofy happen in special teams. Nothing crazy, but like the double doink has happened in Chicago. We hit, one of the field goals post. So a little something goofy, a little caveat there.
That field goal by Elliott, I saw it live. It took a hard right turn. That wind apparently was inconsistent, which is almost harder than just a wind, like, a 12-mile-an-hour wind that's steady. You could see that kick was dead on, and then just like bowling, it took a hard turn.
Like a crappy golfer, it had a slice to it.
A vicious slice.
From the wind. And actually, another weird thing, special teams, I know it's probably happened to more veteran kickers, but that's the first time I've seen, like, live on camera, a kicker go, "No, I'm not attempting this field goal." He told the coach, like, I'm not going to be able to make this.
Yeah, and he was probably right.
He was.
Jake Elliott, he's automatic from that distance.
Yeah, so so our segment from last week of who we got, I predicted the tight ends. Again, I was pretty wrong, but I had the tight ends scoring 2 touchdowns, and also made a bold prediction that Jordan Davis would cause a turnover, neither which happened.
No, well, I'll give you this credit. That was a very bold prediction. I mean, if you would have got one of those right, then you should start gambling more.
yeah.
For real.
And they were thought through. It wasn't like I just shooting out of my ass. I just thought, hey, maybe we'll start getting our tight ends a little bit, and Jordan Davis is coming back. And either way, the only important thing that we predicted was the Eagles won, and they won.
Yeah.
So, and then you had, which you were right, very right.
On the sacks, yeah.
You said 5+ sacks, and man, did we.
His team is dangerous right now on the D-line.
That offensive linemen are shaking a little bit coming to play us. But I want to get into, which I try to get into this as quick as possible so you can really feel how I felt during that game, is our gut reactions.
Gut reactions.
So this is we tried to capture the feeling of during the game and then right after the game. I texted you jokingly. This is nothing to joke about, but I said I'm gonna kill myself when I found out the news about Jalen with the sprained shoulder. Because up until that happened, that specific play where he was slow to get up, I said stop running the damn ball, which we'll get into deeper. But my gut reaction is, damn, my butthole's tight right now. Also, I have to nervous poop. We pulled it off, but I didn't like the fashion that we had to do it.
No, it was ugly on offense for sure. What the Bears presented offensively is pretty much what you expected.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not a great execution. They relied on the running game. And Justin Fields is probably the most fun quarterback to watch if you're not a Bears fan. You know what I mean? If I'm a Bears fan, I'm like, God damn it, we need to be able to do something else. But as just an NFL spectator, that kid's fun to watch. And if he gets more of the, offensive, the reads, and, more of the ability to throw with anticipation, he's going to be really good.
And to his credit, he doesn't have a lot of great weapons around him.
No.
So he definitely is run first. And a lot of those Jalen was that first, I think it probably took a year maybe not a year and a half, but a year to we start to see him actually hit some of his check down reads before he just went, I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Especially against us, sacking him every 7 plays, it felt like, if not even more.
We should have had more than 6 sacks.
That's yeah.
Gut reaction basically is, for me, it didn't seem ever like we were going to lose. And I'm being honest when I say that. And this is the NFL, so a win is a win. This isn't college where the quality of the wins matter. But it wasn't that pretty. I'm just noticing this now. You spelled Eagles wrong. Up there, which is a violation.
I just fat fingered, okay?
You spelled Eagles like bagels.
Eagles.
But yeah, we didn't know, and we're gonna get into the injury a little bit. We didn't know he was hurt at the end of the game, so I felt pretty good considering the wind. Jalen said in his post game that he couldn't feel his hands in the beginning of the game, and you could tell he threw 2 picks, which I wasn't in love with.
And both picks were
not great.
Blatant. Yeah. The one did seem like the wide miscommunication-ish or not the right angle in the wide receiver, but regardless, let's
we're 13-1.
We're 13-1.
That's
all we can say. I don't have to go walk on a highway. We did get the win, cuz if we lost that game, shit was going to be bad. I would have went to bed. Sad. Anywho, let's do a little deeper dive so we're not just generally talking about things. Let's get into our actual breakdown of the game. When we start off with injuries, I think that's always very important to hit at the top of the show.
Yeah, and the NFL, injuries is a major factor. Fortunately, we got out of this game healthy. We thought.
We
all saw the play where Jalen sprained his shoulder. It took him a while to get up. And the very initial reports on Monday, there were people saying that he had a broken collarbone. Which in this day and age with Twitter and everything, I feel like people just want to get a story out.
Oh, of course.
As soon as there were whispers. Because here's the this is lame, but you could put out a false narrative and you're going to get a ton of views and likes and everything just because
people especially against the Eagles, people like to see bad things happen to something that's not their team, especially us. So apparently we're the villains for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's lots of people that are happy Jalen got hurt.
The second they see that, they go, I knew he wasn't an MVP, all this. It's just clickbait for trolls, basically.
Yeah, but nevertheless, you could put out a false story, and it still accomplishes what you wanted it to do. You get a lot of traffic to your whatever. I don't even know who dropped it. But that was when you said to me that you're going to go overdose on heroin to kill yourself, I thought you thought that he did break his collarbone.
I just Basically, I just seen shoulder. Probably won't play this game, and I stopped reading because I said I can't ruin my night quite yet.
Right. And remember during the game, I was like, when he was taking hits, I was like, I just really don't want him to get hurt because there's going to be a bunch of goobers that are going to be talking about how they knew it was going to happen. Like there's a lot of people that are happy about this.
The problem that people want to see him get hurt solely because they don't want him to win MVP. You know, they were like glad to say that. They were like, thank God he got hurt because now we can stop talking about it. Because Mahomes, I once again, we talk about sports medias and how we're in our own little bubble. There's so many people out there that like aren't even football fans that want Mahomes to win MVP for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe he has a likable face, but the fact that like, you know,
he has a Kermit the Frog voice, maybe. But you know, no shade on Mahomes. He's great. But just to wrap this up, it's a sprained shoulder. Listening to his press conference, it sounded like he could definitely play if it was a must-win game. But because the Cowboys shit the bed in overtime against the Jags, it's really not necessary to put him out there unless he's all the way healthy.
Who them boys? Dougie P beating them is the boys.
Yeah.
So
it's classic Cowboys in December.
Yeah.
You know?
They're starting early. They're saying, hey, look, we can lose to a team we should not lose to.
I will say that I think there's about a 10% chance Jalen does play. I mean, look how well he threw the ball after the injury.
Tough guy. I mean, that's one of those things that, you know, if he has a long career, this is going to be one of those things when they, you know, make a 30 for 30 on him. They're going to say that time he sprained his shoulder and still kept playing in a league where they want to, you know, that dude, that must hurt so bad. I don't know what a sprained shoulder.
In his throwing arm.
In his throwing arm. That was a big dude landed on him. And then he took a couple more hits after that as well. That was, we'll get into that. But,
well, we're going to get into it right now.
Not season ending. I think if he needed to play, he could, but he's gonna be fine. Other injury updates?
That's it. In this upcoming game, Dallas Goedert is gonna play, so he had to be activated to the roster. But thankfully, I saw the breakdown on the TV copy that we've had the least starters miss time in the NFL.
Is it this week or next week that Gardner Johnson is off IR?
Next week.
Okay.
But I doubt we're going to see him until the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
He'll come back and just fucking be a playoff champ, that's all.
When you get a win in the NFL and you come out of it unscathed, except for, you know, Jalen, it sucks, but we dodge a bullet. Because if he had a broken collarbone, we'd be doing a podcast. We
wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Tears.
I'd be under a bridge shooting heroin, hoping that there's fentanyl in there because I'd kill myself.
Well, the good news is there probably will be fentanyl in there, but that's for a different podcast.
So let's get into the offense specifically, breaking that down. Underwhelming, underperforming.
Yes, it was, but if you look at the final stats, I mean, Jalen had a great game.
That first half, let's put it this way: that first half, going into halftime, I was like, I was bedazzled. I was not bedazzled.
Well, let me drop the numbers on you, okay? And you tell me how you feel. Okay. Jalen rushed for 3 touchdowns. Go fantasy team. He threw 2 picks, but he ended up with 300-plus pass yards, 61 rushes. A.J. Brown went 9 receptions for 181, which was a way bigger number than I felt.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had that big of a game. That might have been a career high.
Let me just say this, with all the I joke about the negativity of things, we have gotten to watch a lot of rose-tinted glass football leading up to this game. So we've said during the game, like at halftime, like, why do we feel like we're losing? And it's because we just have seen the Eagles been, especially on offense, just doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but yeah, keep going with the numbers.
So Devontae had 5 catches for 126. Basically, our best players played well. But you could tell the wind was a factor. Miles Sanders did not get a lot of action. He finished with 11 carries for less than 50. Can we talk about the gadget plays and the bubble screens?
Yeah.
They're getting annoying.
Yeah. They don't work for us. I don't. I know that they say this is basically just another. This is a run play that's just outside, but it doesn't work for us for whatever reasons.
No, they seem so focused on getting Quez Watkins the ball because he's fast, but he's not a natural runner with the ball. He's just fast. So we do these jet screens sometimes, or the jet sweep, and then bubble screens and quick screens, and they go for 2-3 yards, if not worse.
The jet sweep, I don't have a problem with because I think that just like makes defenses have to honor a outside run, honor some outside speed, getting their DNs not to just get right upfield a little bit, making the cornerbacks come in to get a tackle. But the bubble screen, if I never see another one again this season, I
especially
won't
not to Quez. He's not going to get you like the hard yards, never.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you good with numbers?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm good with numbers, but I just a few things to touch on. Even though it was an ugly game, the talent on this team really, at the end of the day, we're just better than the Giants. And they didn't have a great defense coming in. So
Better than the Bears.
What do you mean?
You said Giants.
I did? Yeah, the Bears.
The Bears.
Bears.
Going back to the bubble screen, and we're going to touch on this a little bit more. I did not like the play calling until middle of the third quarter. Can we just, and this goes into Jalen getting hurt. I know that they're RPOs. Okay, so I know that a lot of these runs are not just destined for Jalen to run the ball. If you're calling the plays and you're saying, hey, Jalen's holding this ball a little bit more, do a little bit more fucking play calling of an actual just running back run play.
That's really the only question you can have. Because we run an RPO, read option offense. So we weren't going to just switch up our whole game plan for this one game. But what the Bears did was they were crashing their DNs to take the option out of the equation and force Jalen to pull it. And then they had linebackers, they wanted to hit him, and they were successful.
Yes, and that's why. Now, I'm not saying
so everybody having a fit over these quarterback runs, yeah, I get it, but...
And I'm not saying abandoned by any means.
He was doing the right thing as far as X's and O's are concerned. But you're right, at some point, you have to run some regular run plays. If you see Jalen is being forced to pull the ball because of the reads, they're doing that on purpose. You got to adjust.
And I'm not saying abandon the
and
RPO,
he wasn't getting
obviously.
Big games.
Yeah, and I'm not saying abandon the RPO, but like, how about for every 4 RPOs, make a designated run?
Yeah. I think the most glaring thing is Miles Sanders didn't touch the ball until the second quarter, and this dude's a 1,000-yard rusher. He's a weapon. Now, I hear people out there saying, like, oh, this is a Howie Roseman ownership decision. They don't want to pay. Like, that's stupid.
No,
there's no way.
Howie Roseman wants to win ball games and gets the first seed. I guarantee that.
And if they were really doing that, they would have tried to stop him before he got 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the ins and outs of his contracts, but at this point, he's a free agent and he's going to get paid. And limiting him in these next few games isn't really going to affect his number. So, but overall, offense.
And if some people are trying to say that, listen, Gainwell, and we've seen in this game, he will put his shoulders down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, okay, if you really want to play that game, well, then put Gainwell in there and let him run a couple series and give him the ball.
The truth is, they were running the offense that they always run, and the Bears forced Jalen to pull it, and then they smacked him.
And it seems like we didn't really take off with the game until mid-third quarter, where that's when we started to first down run, designated runs.
Now, the Bears had the ball for like 22 minutes in the first half, which is basically what the Commanders did.
Yes.
When they beat us. So they were keeping it close. They were doing what they should do. And that's why the second half looks so much different than the first half.
Especially on a very cold day like that. For an offense, you don't want to sit down for 12 straight minutes, get cold. I know they have heaters and all those big blankets, but And
They're
that's
not blankets, they're parkas. If they were over there with blankies on.
I'm sure there's NFL film out there with dudes from the South. They're like, I need a space blanket as well. But I did just throw this in there. We've talked about this before of people being like, well, if it's cold, why don't you wear Under Armour and stuff? That was like the one time I go, I feel like Jalen should have something on his sleeves.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him being cold. I'm worried about him getting hurt.
Well, if he's saying he couldn't feel his hands, now I know the hand, Under Armour doesn't cover the hands, but that's the first time I've seen a pro football player and go, I kind of wish my quarterback had some sleeves on right now. That's his throwing elbow too. It's like a pitcher, you want to keep that warm as much as possible. So.
No, I agree. And the defense was on the field a lot in the first half. But we got it going, and overall, it was a great offensive performance from the wide receivers. And really the only thing I didn't like was both of those interceptions were not, you can put them on Jalen.
Yeah, that, and also this is
the fumble.
3 games in a row now. Definitely 2, maybe 3. And I don't know if it's Jalen checking to it. 3rd and 2s going for fucking deep balls, deep throwing passes.
Yeah, we were during the game. We're like,
we seen like 4 times in a row. We're like, shit. At that point, like you kind of mentioned, I'd go for a quarterback sneak, get 1 yard, then on 4th down, get the other yard. Like, just that wasn't working. And even the week before when we did that,
especially on a windy day.
Yeah, and the week before when we did that and it was successful, that was where that safety just completely whiffed, and Devontae Smith, that was a 3rd and 2. We were like, he almost just got murdered, but it was successful. But yeah,
we're not used to seeing interceptions either. We've been like you said, the rose tinted glasses. I mean, most like Josh Allen's like in the MVP discussion, he throws a lot of picks. We're just not used to seeing picks.
Yeah,
and they did turn into points for the Bears.
Picks at bad times, like completely gave them field position right off that
Kept
pick.
them in the game. Kept them in the game.
But that's kind of usually we have a hard time talking about the last few times because it's like everything was good, everything was awesome. So it's nice to actually have some get those wrinkles out now, because we're going to start getting to the point of the season where that game right there would not have beaten the Cowboys.
Probably not. No. Miles Sanders has to run the ball more. That's the bottom line. I mean, they had the 31st ranked run defense, and Miles Sanders had 11 carries.
Yeah.
But let's get into the defense. This is a fun defense to watch play football.
I think we talked about this, and sorry if I'm repeating myself. Watching a sack happen is almost the most fun play to watch in the NFL, in any football. And we're getting to see an awful lot of them at big times.
Yeah. I usually try to come with numbers. I wish I could, like the last 5 games, how many sacks we've had per game. It would break down like 4.5.
Well, I believe we are in the first sacks around the league.
Yeah, and it's really like the guys we signed, like Linval Joseph. This is about sack. Linval Joseph is on the field a lot, not because Jordan Davis isn't healthy or isn't good. Linval Joseph just been that good.
Dude, yeah.
Hargrave up the middle. When you have these kind of guys playing in the interior, the DNs get to eat. And we saw 2 sacks from Hargrave, Sweat, and my man Hassan Reddick, which was that contract he signed. Looked like a lot. Now it's looking like a bargain.
Dude, we keep saying it like what a great pick. Yeah, when we first got it, not sure. And if we're repeating, sorry, this is the first player in NFL to have had, I forget, a certain amount of sacks.
10 sacks on 3 different teams.
10 plus
3
sacks. Yeah. So he just goes to a team, gets a bunch of sacks, and how have people not held on to him? They're dumb. How do you let that leave your building?
Well, the Arizona, they just don't do anything right. But what else can we say about the defense? Kayvon Wallace led the team in tackles, and I was worried about him coming into the game.
Yeah.
We are light at safety. It was nice not to see Anthony Harris on the field, though.
Yeah.
It just gives me a bad juju kind of feel.
We've seen it enough.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, windy day. Justin Fields not known for passing the ball. Any decent passing plays was just Justin Fields scrambling and breaking coverage,
And I always like to kind of base this kind of breakdown on just my memory of the game and what it looked like, kind of with the gut reaction thing. Aside from that one broken play where Justin Fields aired it out for like 40-some yards and the guy was wide open for a touchdown, can you even remember who else scored touchdowns?
No.
No, it was David Montgomery.
Yeah, he actually, you know what? And this is from fantasy knowledge. He's burned me a lot. So I just and in fantasy points, it doesn't equate. He actually ran the ball a lot better.
Yeah, he had
especially
a good
against us, way better than I thought he would.
He had a good game. But overall, the defense, they got 20 points. Again, if it wasn't for a couple amazing plays by Fields. And
that one was an amazing play.
I thought he scored. It looked like he scored on the live copy.
And anyone who watched any highlights of that game, Justin Fields just broke
Hassan Reddick had him totally
wrapped up. And the boy can play. It's a shame he's stuck on a talentless team right now.
And Equanimous St. Brown got hurt.
Yeah.
Early in the game, so that was his one healthy weapon, really.
What a name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his brother's name's Amon St. Brown, so that's a pretty cool name too.
But yeah.
Or no, it's Amon Ra St. Brown, I believe. Rachel, if you want to look that up.
Fact check us on that one. Defense. Once again, the sacks are nice. They kept us on our toes, though. I have to give the Bears. They rose to the occasion, if you can say that, because they played way better than I thought they would. So it's that double-edged sword of it's really fun to watch it's really fun to be comfortable the whole time, but it really does make for better football of not just blowing a team out.
In Philly, we love good defense.
Mm-hmm.
We have since the days of Buddy Ryan and Jim Johnson, but it's just crazy compared to last season what this defense is transformed into. I love it.
And the one thing I will say is I go back and forth every week. I bite, put my foot in my mouth, but just with the blitzing, I've learned that our defense, I think we might need to blitz more than we actually should because we just don't. But in those red zones, after Justin Fields, we thought scrambled and scored that touchdown, it kind of was there was a momentum there that they just won the momentum, and I go, the only way they're not scoring is if we blow a play up. Right. So why not go for a blitz we haven't shown on film yet?
I can't disagree, but I've come to the conclusion and accept the fact that it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, across the rest of the thing, I said it last week. I'm a big enough man to admit I was wrong. Because Gannon has this, he's got great players, but in that red zone, sometimes throw a wild card at
just
them.
to kill the momentum, like you said. I think I said it. We were talking about it on that play after that big run. They got 7 yards, first and goal. It was 7 yards to go. Why not try to set them back on second long?
Yeah,
but you know what? It's not going to happen, and we got to get used to it.
Yes,
and I hope
now
that
if this is my Madden team, I know Justin Fields isn't going to try and look for a pass. I'm going cornerback blitz right there. Just send one cornerback to shake him up.
I'll tell you this much. We don't do it a lot, but when we do it, it works really well. We run a lot of stunts. No, we don't run a lot of them, but when we run them, they work.
Yeah.
And I think that's as close to a blitz as you're going to get out of this defense. And it works.
The other 80 yards of the field, not even. The other 90 yards of the field, I get not throwing blitzes. Our defense, with a defensive line like we have, we shouldn't have to blitz much.
Right.
But, yeah, just there, not to keep harping on it. But we got the win.
Who do you love more? If you had to pick one to build your team next season, do you take the offense as it is or the defense as it is? Say you're Howie Roseman.
Defense.
Definitely the defense. Okay.
As long as it's not like a clean house situation. But
I'm saying we
finally got a linebacker, 2 linebackers. We got cornerbacks that are locked down. We got I think the best defensive line in the league. And the only thing I would say is he got hurt, so just safety depth.
Yeah. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a good off season. We're going to bring it all to you guys. It's going to be interesting to see Howie locks in on to re-sign.
Because we can't keep them all.
No, we've got like
Can't keep 'em all.
28 players up for contract. So real quick, special teams. You mentioned Jake Elliott hit the upright on his. I think he had 2 field goals. He missed one.
Mm-hmm.
That win was crazy. Like I said, it took such a hard turn. There was no way to counteract
Unpredictable is the biggest.
But yeah, the trend of weird field goals in Chicago prevails. The new punter, Kern. If we have nothing to say, that means you did a good job.
Yeah, if I don't curse your name, good job.
He did a good job on
Holding.
holds. Yeah,
on a cold day, he's not moving around much, so it's very, he could have some very cold hands.
Little tidbit on Kern: Mike Vrabel did not want him to go. That was like one of Vrabel's guys, but they had some young punters, cheaper, and it has a big leg, and we're just a recipient of these guys all in the streets available and want to sign with the Eagles. And he'll be the punter for us this season. You can write that down, lock it up.
Man, does that guy have a sweet life, right? Like, had a great career. He's like, I'm in retirement. I'll stay in shape. And then a 12-1 team comes, hey, we need a punter. Can you come for us? And you go, yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, he knew, like, he was just hanging out, kicking, working out, and he knew there haven't been a lot of punter injuries this year, but usually there are more.
Yeah.
So it took to week 14 or 15 or whatever for him to find a team, and
boy, did he find a team.
good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Here's a couple mil, your already sick-ass life, dude.
Yeah, right. And then the kick returns again. Boston's doing a good job. He had another 40-plus yarder. It's just a little bizarre it took that long to put him back there.
Looking at it now, yeah, it's like
what the hell?
what took so long. I like seeing it because
especially when we traded away Rager, it was like, this guy's a bum. This isn't going to work out. And they just, it's not like Boston gets a ton of carries where you want to keep him fresh. Let the man return the kicks.
Did you let the man?
Let the man now return the punts. I like Covey though.
Yeah, that's a completely different catching the ball, so I have no say of which one would be better. But I like seeing the little prairie dog, as Mladen's called him, catch back there.
Yeah, he's a guy you can root for. Tiny guy.
So let's get into one of my favorite segments because it gets hard. This is a hard one because there's a lot of them, but our bum and beast of this past game.
We ironed it out before this episode too. From now on, your bum and beast has to be targeted at an individual.
Yes. I keep breaking the law on the rules on that. Sometimes it's just hard.
Well, it was a nebulous thing. This is a new podcast. We got to iron some things out. We forgot to save the outline from last episode.
Forgot to save the one sheet. It's another industry term I learned called the one sheet. It's like your breakdown that like you give your host of like, here's your topics.
Okay.
So we're getting there.
So we'll call it that.
But I'll let you start. Why don't you give me your beast and then your bum?
Okay. So my beast is an easy one. It's Hassan Reddick.
Yes.
Let me give you his stats. 2 sacks. Fumble recovery. Fumble forced. Pass defender. He almost had a pick. And watching tape, dude, he had so many unbelievable rushes. This guy's got moves. He's like Michael Jackson out there with these pass rush moves. It's really fun to watch. So he was a clear beast. And there was a lot of defensive players you could pick.
I don't want my brain to forget it. Sorry to interrupt. The only thing we forgot to mention was I think when Reddick forced that fumble, Fletcher Cox tried to do a scoop and score.
Yes.
He could have just flobbed on that ball and been fine.
You could tell at first he thought he could scoop and score it, and then he realized too late that there was a bear right on his hip. So he did like the side flab. If you
and for anyone who has never tried it, when a football is in weird, they can go in weird motion that seems like a freaking knuckleball. So it's not hard, but Fletcher Cox is an all-pro defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's a veteran, too.
The dude should have known just take the ball, but
you
need to throw that out there.
No, that was worth mentioning because this score could have been totally different if he recovers that fumble.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be talking about a 38 12 game or something.
Because that we would have been in great field position.
And the momentum.
I think that happened in the second quarter.
It's such a bummer when your player makes a great play and strips the ball, especially from the quarterback. There's all that space. It's not like a dog
At that
pile.
point, when that ball's in the ground, there's 4 people in this specific situation. There was 4 people that knew that ball was on the ground. Justin Fields, and he was tackled, so he ain't getting back to it. Reddick was tackled with him, so he ain't get it. So it was Fletcher Cox, and an offensive lineman just happened to be looking back.
Yep.
So
yeah, you got to scoop that, or you got to dive on that. All right, and then so that's my beast, Hassan Reddick. Great game again, dude's tearing it up. And then my bum was Jalen Hurts, and let me explain. It's not even about the interceptions. It's a little bit about the interceptions, but it's about him pulling the ball and read options way too often. There's a lot of hands involved in why he took that many rushing attempts and that many hits. But I know he's a confident guy. He's a great player, great leader, but you're not Superman. And it wasn't like he was pulling the ball in these read options and getting 8, 10-yard gains. They were going for 2, losses. And they're just, I don't care who you are. I am always going to go back to Cam Newton, who was way bigger than Jalen. But this dude, and for a good reason, felt like he was invincible.
yeah.
And it's the cumulative hits that you take that don't injure you per se on that hit, but taking shots on the shoulder, the ribs, the legs, all this, it adds up. And I'd say out of 17 rushes, aside from like 2 of them, he got smoked. Not smoked, but he took a hit. Even when he dives in a non-slide way where they're allowed to hit you.
Yeah.
And I had no problem. I heard my guy Les Bowen from the Daily News saying that that's a finable hit, and I really don't see it. The one where the guy basically pressed his weight on him. He's not a quarterback when at that point he becomes a runner, not a quarterback.
Yeah, you're never going to find someone for hitting a running back that way, but just when it's in your mind that that's a quarterback.
And I would do the same thing. I would try to hurt this dude. That is the defensive mindset. Say what you will. If you don't understand that part of football, you really don't understand football.
And I think any athlete out there who's ever played sports, there's a difference between being injured and hurt. Football, you are going to be hurt. So as a quarterback, you love the guy for it because he goes, I will do anything to make this work, to get that extra yard, to get that first down. And it's just like, dude, don't let your career be cut short.
And think
because you can do it with your arm.
And right. And there's so many people riding on your ability to play quarterback. The whole team is relying on you to be healthy. The entire Philadelphia Eagles fan base.
2 brothers in a basement. You will make us cry. Jalen, don't make me cry any more than I already do.
And it's just like we dodged a bullet. And I hope he learns from it. And his final stats, again, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, so this looked worse than it really is because we're not used to it. But I'm confident that he was a bit of a bum this week.
I think he wouldn't even have. I think he probably looks at himself that way as well. 2 interceptions in one game to him, the way he's been playing, I'm sure he in his mind he was a bum that game, even though he came back and had great stats. So
yeah, but he didn't throw any touchdown passes. But 3 rushing touchdowns is cool. But who you got for your beast?
So my beast, we made sure we didn't have the same one, but Hargrave.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the only right now, after the fan vote, he's the only Pro Bowl defensive player we have on the Eagles. This is after just the fan vote.
I mean,
and rightfully so.
The dude has been consistent all year, getting 2 sacks as an interior defensive lineman is, obvious. Reddick is an outside edge rusher. That's what the dude gets paid to do. He probably specifically has so many things attached to just sacks in his contract of how to get paid. I'm sure all of them do, but Hargrave, big man in the middle, just dominating, run stopping as well. He's not a one-trick pony.
Yeah,
but
he's
then,
definitely not a minus in that category.
No.
He might not be a plus, but he's solid.
And I simply put, how many defensive tackles out there get multiple sacks a game?
Multiple sack games.
Yes.
This isn't just an anomaly. He's had like 3 or 4.
So yeah, and I dig the celebration. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he's breaking down the door when he does a square and then he kicks it, and I'm like, I'm there with him doing it.
He's been consistent, and that's the hardest part.
So that was defensive line, just beast altogether, but those two guys need to deserve their shout-outs.
That's the first beast he's gotten for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who you got for your bum? Now, we disagree on this.
We do. And that's what, I think sometimes makes a good sports show. Shane Steichen. Okay? Now, because we decide you have to make one person.
Gotta be about a guy.
Okay, so I started off with just play calling. And Sirianni is not an offensive coordinator, but I think he could go to Shane and say, hey, fucking run the ball with the running backs. But that's why I have Shane Steichen, because
he's the dude.
You did not put the ball in Miles Sanders' hand on a cold day. You could see the freaking sideline reporter's mouth was freezing. That's a cold environment. And you don't even get to see the wind. So this is a cold fucking day. Wind's going around. Stop passing the ball. By our third possession, I said stop passing the ball on first down. Let your running backs run the fucking ball. There's a reason that we pay them a lot of money, and we have a great offensive line. Mm-hmm. Yes, they're great pass blockers, but they're also really good run blockers. And we can do some creative things with the type of offense line we have, how athletic they are. So, Shane, you got bum of the week, because get the fucking running backs the ball in their hand. I know we run the RPO. I'm saying this again, but how about for every 3 RPOs in that situation, a designed running back run? Inside, outside the tackles, I don't care. But the Bears were stopping what we do good, the RPO.
They game plan specifically, like I said, to keep the ball in Jalen's hands.
So at that point, protect your quarterback. You're an offensive coordinator. Say, hey, he's getting hit quite a lot. Because he also, outside of the RPOs, there was a lot of designed quarterback runs too. Not a lot, but more than every other team, I bet, this week.
He had 3 rushing touchdowns. So it's really... And remember, part of the rushes are like the 12 quarterback sneaks we run every game, which is an evolving part. But
like, we ran it
I agree
back
with
to back.
I agree with...
Like a quarterback draw, back to back. The first time they stopped us, and then we did it again, and it busted wide open. He walked into the end zone. So I can be wrong there. But
no, you're right, and this is where I do agree with you. I don't have a problem with the game plan. I mean, we've been tearing people up in the air, but the Bears clearly were ready with a unique kind of defensive scheme. It's the lack of adjustment.
Yes.
At some point, you have to say, all right, they're clearly hitting him too much.
Which makes me think, because he knows, this is sideline reporters, but Pam Oliver, I believe her name is, she's been doing it for a while. Sirianni said at halftime, when he's going to the tunnel, Sirianni said, I want to run the ball more. Mm-hmm. I got to get the ball in our running back's hands, I believe was the way he said it. And then here we come out the first fucking possession. No, we don't do that. So I wonder if at one point did Sirianni go to Steichen and say, dude, get the ball in Miles' hand, please. So we won. That's all that matters. But I was getting frustrated because every time Jalen gets touched, you hold your breath for a quick second on those runs. And like you said, defenses are going, if we can hurt him, this will be awesome.
As they should.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. It's so frustrating to watch a quarterback pick up first downs. Like, if you're on the defense, like you're playing, you are getting annoyed and you want to hit them hard. And if you get a 15-yard penalty, oops.
One thing, just going back to the defense line, I want to make sure I said this, I forgot. There was a couple of times that our big dudes, Fletcher Cox, there was a play there. He took the right angle, and Justin Fields only got 2 yards on like a scramble out to the right. So there was a couple times that we were able to contain him with the big boys doing it. Mm-hmm. Which that's fun to see. You see a big man hustling the sideline, having the proper angle and keeping him from not busting it for a first down right away. But I think that that's in the past now. We got it over. We got the win. Let's move on to...
Let's talk Cowboys.
One of the biggest, any time of year, any situation, whether you're in the playoffs, we're not even having a chance at the playoffs. This is Cowboys week. Saturday game.
Christmas Eve.
Let's hope Santa comes early for us. It's a 4 o'clock game, my favorite, because then I can sleep in a little bit, and I wake up and I just start snacking. I'm going to eat the meats and the cheeses and the air-fried foods. Rachel's making a lasagna.
Yes, which...
So hopefully it's a victory lasagna.
Let's hope. I'll still enjoy it.
Yes.
But this is a gift from the NFL to all Philadelphia Eagles fans and Cowboys fans, because this is game of the year. And there is a chance Jalen does play in this game. I don't think it's and you don't even want him to.
It's impossible. Yeah, I don't want to risk it. Obviously, this would this guarantee us the first seed?
Yeah, we basically need to win one more game to lock it in.
So there you go. If Cowboys won this past week, I bet Jalen's playing.
Yeah, Cowboys really fucked it up.
Yeah,
and they always do in December. It's rote, and you hear it over and over and over again, but it's true. Dallas does not play well in December, and they cough up opportunities.
Here's the thing. You know what? I'm going to try and be positive. It's the holidays. All right. City of brotherly love. Let's all... Maybe Minshew playing is a good thing for our mental health. Because I've said if I were a professional athlete, a backup quarterback is a dope-ass position. Because if you come in and lose, well, I was the backup quarterback. But if you come in and win... Yeah, fucking put him on your shoulders and buy him a beer. So Gardner Minshew isn't just some slack. You know, there's a possibility that he can win this game.
There's a good possibility. I mean, all he has to do is execute with great talent around him. Every position on offense, we're good. And
then if they're struggling a little bit, our defense, I think, is listen, if we could contain Justin Fields with his legs, Dak, I'm not even blinking about his legs right now. I hate obviously his arm's a lot better, but I'm not afraid of Dak Prescott anymore. I know he put up 55 points that one game.
He plays well against us, though.
Yeah.
And so does Zeke. And Pollard's killing it. CeeDee Lamb stepped his game up. It's not going to be...
oh, no.
It's going to be... This is a bigger game for Dallas than it is for us.
Yeah, and that's why that's why I mentioned like the backup quarterback thing, where we can go in this game going, Dallas needs this win. We don't need this win. So, and I never can be relaxed. I tell myself this now, but come Saturday, every play I'll be...
This is the first game since we played the Vikings in prime time where like I'm going to be really amped up. Like most games, like I go into it pretty even-keeled, positive, but even-keeled. This is a game just like the Viking games where I told you, like, I got a bad feeling. We need to win this. It's prime time. Fuck. And let's hope it turns out like the Viking game.
That's what, you know what, and that's why I'm trying to speak it into fruition. Is that the term?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Of Gardner Minshew, if he plays, he's going to play well for us. We have weapons and things that he can rely on and lean on.
And he's got his tight end back. We got Dallas out there again.
So
Dallas Goedert, not Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas will beat Dallas.
You know what? I love it. Every time we play the Cowboys and Dallas Goedert plays, you know we stole Dallas Goedert from them.
Yeah.
He grew up a Cowboys fan. His dad was like, God, no, not the Eagles. So it's that. Just in case you guys know, that's a little extra fun watching Dallas Goedert play against the Cowboys.
The parents named him Dallas.
Yeah, which is lame. But
No, it's not. He's on the Eagles, so it's really cool.
Well, we hate the Cowboys fans. The Cowboys fans hate us. I think the rivalry is more about the fans than the teams.
Jerry's well, we got the biggest screen. Fuck off. The big screen is lame. I hate that they're like got the biggest Megatron screen ever. It's like, cool, dude.
You know,
I have a 70-inch screen in my house. You don't hear me bragging every person I see about it.
Did you know that we haven't lost a game on the road since last season, week 13? By far the best
I hope
road.
we give Jerry Jones a heart attack.
I'm
already. I know. Yeah.
I want Jerry Jones to stick around because he fucking is a goob and he does stupid shit that owners shouldn't do. And I hope he lives till he's 110 and the Cowboys just continue.
No, I didn't say I hope he dies. I just hope he has. We give him a little bit of a. Put him in what's that thing, Rachel? When your heart goes out?
AFib.
AFib. I just hope he goes in the AFib. He goes, damn mother, like old man freak out. That's what I want.
Yeah.
His pasty ass.
But make no mistake about it, they need this game.
Yes.
So let's get into our score predictions.
Score predictions. It's just fun sometimes to rile up about Dallas. It really makes.
Listen. Dallas really fucked up by losing the Jaguars because this was gonna be the biggest game of the season. It's gonna be the highest rating, probably of the season. It's Christmas Eve too, so that helps.
And this is going to, if Minshew plays, this takes some pressure off of him.
Off of the Eagles?
Yeah, all of the Eagles, yeah. But, like, so Minshew's not going in here going, like, I have to win. Now, he's a competitor, so he always going to have that. But
he's going in the mindset, I have to win.
Yeah, but it's, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of, this let him breathe a little bit more.
Well, he absolutely thinks he should be a starter in this league. And this is him, like, trying out for the 31 other football teams. That's
Seriously?
the way he should go into it. And they always say that
Put it on tape.
the other starters lock it down when the backup plays. So I think we're going to get a great effort, like a next level effort out of everybody, especially the offensive line.
I want to be a fly on the wall when Kelsey found out that Gardner Minshew's probably playing. I want to know what he probably came up and was like, dude, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I want to know what that speech was like.
And my prediction for this game is Birds 38 or 31-28 Eagles. I think they are going to do it. And 31 point, I think Minshew's going to play well.
My score prediction in sorry for this to be super vanilla, but I'll tell you why I think this. 24-21
Eagles.
Eagles are going to win. Now, I put no field goals will happen. Obviously, a field goal has to happen. I just think Dallas will go for it. If they're in the red zone, if they're not, if they're going to go for every touchdown they can. They're not going to just settle for a field goal ever. I think it's going to come down to it. It's indoor stadium. I think Jake Elliott's going to win us a game.
Let's hope. I mean, the betting line when the news on Jalen came down immediately, the spread swung 6 points. So the fact that the Eagles are on the road and Jalen Hurts isn't playing, the sharps, if you will, the betting sharps are predicting. I didn't check the spread today, but the Dallas is a 6-point favorite. So we're going out on a limb a little bit in both, because I'll predict the Eagles to lose. I really think
you
that.
have,
but we've seen good things out of Gardner. And I think there's a small chance Jalen plays. I know he wants to play.
And
he could.
Everyone in that locker room. There's some magic of they are finding ways to get it done. It might not always be pretty. It might not be blowing the team out of the water, but it's just like I think everyone really is falling in line with Nick Sirianni's of just compete. Like there's no one's laying back. No one on that team is going, if we lose, it's okay.
Another aspect too is if we win this game, we lock down everything for the 1 seed in the division. That means all the starters get the rest.
Do we
And
want to? We'll talk
it's not
that
about
next
us.
week.
It's about the players. You know they want to rest.
Oh yeah,
So I'm saying they have that extra to play for.
true. That's like a game check.
Yeah,
too.
man.
Someone like the offensive line, they're like, dude, we can.
And,
Fucking,
yeah, I'm sure a lot of them need the rest.
I got broken fingers that need to heal up
So
right
they're
now.
playing for that too.
Um,
So let's get into the Who You Got
who you got?
segment. This is where we predict something a little bold, something specific that we anticipate to happen during the game that, we kind of stake our football reputations on amongst
bit.
each other.
A little bit. I'll start. Now I haven't looked, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But who you got? Darius Slay. Okay, that's going to be my player. I think he's going to lock down CeeDee Lamb.
So give me CeeDee Lamb's total yards.
Under 70.
Okay.
I think Slay is going to have an interception.
Okay.
I think the way that's going to happen is we are going to chase Dak out of the pocket. He's going to put one up. CeeDee Lamb trying to go long. Slay is going to have one of his nice interceptions.
He's due for one. It's been a while.
He's due for one. And just I like the guy a lot. How can you not like Slay? He's actually had a couple busted plays in the last couple of weeks, here and there. Nothing
Here's
crazy.
the thing about Slay. The ball doesn't get thrown his way, really, ever. Maybe 3-4 times a game. And the only time you're going to throw his way is when the guy gets wide open. So it looks worse than it really is. But he's due for a pick. I've been predicting we would get an interception like 3 weeks in a row, and it hasn't happened.
So my prediction is, my who you got is Slay. I think he will hold CeeDee Lamb for whoever he's covering. But I believe it probably will be CeeDee Lamb for under 70 yards. And my bold prediction is he'll have an interception to really turn the game around.
Okay.
So who you got?
I got Miles Sanders because I think, whether they'll admit it or not, the coaches amongst themselves were like, this can't happen again. Miles Sanders has to touch the ball more. I'm predicting he's going to have 130 or more rush yards, and I think he's going to get an end zone twice. So, is that super bold? Nah, because Dallas isn't a great run defense. But if we're going to win this game, that's got to happen.
Will he have more than Zeke? More yards than Zeke?
Yeah, I bet my shirt on it right now.
More yards than Zeke and Pollock together?
No. If we win, yes. If we lose, no. But I can't go that bold. I can't predict everything.
That is a good 1-2 punch there, then, too.
It's a great 1-2 punch. And it's annoying because Zeke is not that great, but when they play us, Zeke starts eating, and I get so fucking annoyed when Zeke's happy.
Yeah, because he's doofus, dude.
He's just an overpaid wanker.
Yes.
And you could put that in the tagline of this
Say it again.
podcast.
Zeke
is a wanker.
You hear that, Zeke?
Yeah.
You're a freaking wanker.
And we have the coaching edge in this game, too.
Yes.
Big time.
Where do you think, if any, quarterback Jalen's out. Dallas has the quarterback edge right now. But outside of that, where do you think they have the edge on us?
Nowhere. Safety?
That's just because of injuries.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who their safety is. I'm just guessing that because
they've lost the guys in their secondary. That's what I'm saying. Even with Minshew playing, on paper, we're better. Now, we don't have a 1-2 punch like Zeke and Pollard, but Miles Sanders is a monster. So, I mean, there's the edge. They've got 2 prime running backs. We only have 1. And if you weren't an Eagles fan, you would have no idea who Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell were. So I'll give them that.
You know what, too?
And
this does need to be said. You know why the Cowboys lost? Because Dak threw a bad ball.
It should have been caught. Noah Brown should have caught that.
Pick 6, yeah.
Oh, it was great.
That's weighing on his shoulders.
He's been throwing picks.
He lost to the Jaguars.
Okay.
And did you see? Well, so all right, that was who you got. I like them both. Let's go Birds. Do we want to get into? Wait, what?
Yes, this is our new segment.
So this segment is to include all of the league.
It's just
And
such
some-
an entertaining football season that there's things that happen that we can't not mention briefly, you know. But yeah, these are the things that make us go, wait, what?
Wait, Rachel. Wait, what? I got one. Didn't have one until just now.
Okay.
Dude, I was upset when we got rid of Dougie P. Okay, and I'm glad because he seems to be having some success down there. He's turned the team around.
It's looking good
If you can say that
for the future.
After that win, I don't know if they named the person, but somebody sent whatever. I think it was called like Philly Original Cheesesteak. There's a restaurant down there in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Someone from Philly bought the coaching staff like 35 cheesesteaks, and
No
they're like,
shit.
"Thanks for the win, Dougie."
No shit. No, I didn't see that.
So
See, we still love you, Dougie P.
we do. It's rough, and he'll say it, and he had a lot of fun. He won a Super Bowl, so Dougie P, you're my dude. I like you a lot.
Yeah. So, for me, there was a few things that stood out this week. The obvious one is Jeff Saturday and the Colts blowing a 33-point lead
Man.
to the Vikings, which we really needed the Vikings to lose to get them out of our rear view. And that is the biggest comeback in NFL history. And it's not like Kirk Cousins was a Superman in the second half. Like, he threw some. It's like unfathomable how that happened. It's so bad for the Colts. They're not a great team, but you cannot blow a 33-point lead. That's like when Matt Ryan, which is interesting. Matt Ryan is the quarterback of this Colts team.
Lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, when they blew that lead in the
28
Super Bowl,
points, I think it was.
I don't remember.
Might have been
but
28
it was like that can't happen. But
Yeah, that's wait, what?
that's definitely a wait.
Yeah, and that, you know what? It's a shame because like, what else does Indianapolis have going on? It's been a rough couple of years ever since Andrew Luck left. That team is.
But you know, at some point, that was a long time ago now. There's a lot more going on there than Andrew Luck.
Well, I just mean,
retiring.
and then they were like, "Oh, cool, we got Carson Wentz. He's going to be fixed."
Yeah. Well, I guess what you say is they keep trying to fix it overnight with the quarterback position.
Yeah,
and at this
true.
point, I mean, when they signed Matt Ryan after the Wentz thing, everybody was like,
So, do you know who's going to be their quarterback this week?
"Who?"
I believe it's going to be Nick Foles.
Oh, you're saying the Colts?
I believe.
No, I didn't hear that. But good.
And that could, if not, social media got me again. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be Nick Foles.
Yeah.
I hope so. Get back
Yeah,
with.
go Nicky Foles. What else happened? You see how the Patriots lost on a trick play?
No, I didn't.
It was a tied game, and they should have went for overtime. And they tried kind of a hook and ladder type play with, laterals down the field. And inexplicably, the one...
Pick six.
Yeah.
Right?
Can I finish the story?
Sorry.
Blow
I did remember.
So the running back decided to toss it all the way back to Mac Jones. And Chandler Jones, who used to be a Patriot, picked it off, ran in for a touchdown, walk off. Just a terrible way to lose. Should have never happened. The Patriots are fighting for the playoffs. And credit to the guy who threw the interception. He really took it on the chin and answered questions in the locker room. But
So it was a tied game.
yeah.
Man, Bill Belichick did that. That's...
Yeah.
You never would guess it would be him to try something like that.
So any NFL fan has seen that play. And that was definitely you didn't need to score.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why did you do that? And Mac Jones was never going to... What was he supposed to do with that ball? Because the throw was like 35 yards down, back towards the line of scrimmage. Like, what was he supposed to do? Run it? Because you're not allowed to throw it forward again. It has to be laterals. So that was crazy.
That's one of those plays... I'm surprised you didn't know the term. I threw it out there like a couple weeks ago. Schoolyard bullshit is what I call that play. where it's
Okay.
just in the backyard, like almost playing rugby. Like,
Even in the backyard, you're like, this is not gonna work.
yeah, I think I actually get that term from The Longest Yard.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So yeah, we talked about the Cowboys. Just awesome job by the Jags. What else happened? Oh, the Cardinals are bummy as fuck. What was it, like 9-9 then with Denver? Denver and is fucked for years, and I love it. But as soon as you saw the Cardinals were playing the Broncos, it was just like, wow, this is gonna be a great game.
I forget what we were doing. I think we were just watching the 4 o'clock game or something, and it came on. I was like, the score is 9-9 or something like that. I was like,
Just
dude, if you buy an NFL ticket to that, you're
Yeah,
this
man.
is what the hell.
I've said on this podcast a few times, and between us, I just love what's happening in Denver. Because Russell Wilson's a weirdo. They've traded away their next 2 drafts to get him. They're paying him a ton of money. The owners of the Walmarts, fuck y'all. And this
I
is
didn't
what
know
you
that.
get.
So yeah, they're really okay. Well then, yeah, fuck Denver then.
I love it.
It's goddamn Devils.
Yeah.
You got a shot to. They're really cheap. It sucks.
Yeah, it's
It does suck, but
gotta feed
good.
the kids. Gotta feed the kids. And the Texans took the Chiefs overtime. Which was really exciting. I mean, they didn't pull off the win, but that's 2 weeks in a row that they went into the end of the game tied. And God, the fucking Chiefs just need to lose, so we don't have to hear about Mahomes as much.
Yeah.
But listen, in reality, the Chiefs don't have a good defense, and I don't see them winning a Super
Shit,
Bowl.
they haven't had a good defense since they've started these Super Bowl runs. They just sort of high flying.
Yeah, but they're really scrambling, and let's hope it continues because they're not going to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because you know what? We love Andy Reid. It was like a second dad for us a little bit. He was our football dad growing up. But he's got enough Super Bowls now. I love you, guy. He's got his money.
Yeah.
So
he's got the fucking State Farm commercials.
yeah,
or whatever.
he's doing fine.
He's fine. Yeah.
So
So that's really all I got. And also go Lions. Even though they're an NFC team, they beat the Jets. There's a very good chance that they're actually going to make the playoffs.
we're seeing that the turn. I mean, it's been the last couple years with you've seen Cleveland and Cincinnati, but you're seeing the turn of. It's funny seeing young kids that are like high schoolish age on like social media because they haven't watched football long enough to go like, dude, shitty teams eventually will get good.
But not really the Lions. They've been bad for like
Not
30
the Lions,
teams.
but I just mean like you mentioned the Jets. I mean Miami. The Browns, Cincinnati. Like they 6 years ago, if I told you Cincinnati's gonna be in the Super Bowl, you'd be like, no,
Yeah,
you're wrong.
No, it would never happen.
So you're seeing that turnover. I think a little bit of. There's a reason the shittiest teams get good draft picks. So it's interesting to see. It's keeping the league interesting. I like it.
I'm happy for Jared Goff. There's no way they don't move forward with him at quarterback.
See, I don't like Jared Goff,
Okay.
but Detroit that's a tough fan base to be a part of, and they stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say through thick and thin, but it's just kind of through thin and
It's
thin.
been all thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was. Wait, what?
Oh, wait. One more wait, what? I know we're going long.
No, that's cool.
Did you see the end of the Commanders and the Giants game with 2 blown calls? Washington got robbed. Absolutely robbed.
No, I didn't.
There was a play that was like 2 yards out from the end zone. The Washington was going in to score. And McLaurin's lined up on the outside, and he looks to the ref, to get his... You saw this?
Yeah.
And
After the fact.
And the ref told him to move up, and he moved up a little bit, and the ref had his flag holstered. He already knew he was throwing it, and Robinson runs in for a touchdown. These guys had nothing to do with the play, and they threw the flag on him for illegal formation. Now, I will say he was way off the line. He was like 3 yards off the line.
That's what I was going to question. Now, I don't know. I know in high school, like, you do that, and is that just a ref just being nice, like telling you you're on or off? Because they do it.
They always do.
But like, do they have to tell
Yes.
you? It's okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's in the rule book, but that's how it has worked. in
Always been,
high
yeah.
school, college.
Because it makes no sense. Like,
But I will say this. I mean, he told him he had to move up, and he didn't move up enough. So what is the ref supposed to then say? No, you have to keep moving up. Yeah, like I don't know.
That's
where the line's
the
drawn?
gray area is because is it in the rules? But
it was a running play. It had nothing to do with them outside.
And it was like a 5-foot difference. Like it wasn't like a miscommunication. Like they were obviously they could hear each other perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, it was right next to him.
Yeah.
And after that play, there was a clear pass interference in the end zone that didn't get called. And I personally, I like them letting them play. But I mean, the D-back was literally draped over him way before the ball got there. But I don't give a shit.
I got it. Sorry to be dumb-brained. I had to say, second week in a row, I liked the officiating for the Eagles game. They let the guys play.
Yeah.
We've seen some crappy ones. We've heard me bitch about it. Refs, good job. They let like the little bit of arm battle happen. So I like to see that.
That kid Jalen Johnson for the Bears had a good game against A.J. Brown, and there was definitely a lot of contact. But yeah.
As long as they call it even, that's all I want. And they did a good job.
Yeah.
But so that's our football for you. I know, Steven, we always stuff is happening as far as baseball goes. So why don't you give us a little breakdown for us?
I'll keep it quick. The fucking Mets are really annoying, and somehow Carlos Correa is now their third baseman. The deal was done with San Francisco, so we got more power, and more high end players in the NL East. The Mets are projected to be like just under $500 million payroll after the luxury tax, and that's way more than the Phillies, who have like the third highest payroll. It's just annoying that it's the Mets, man. Now they got Pete Alonso, they got Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa, Max Scherzer, Verlander, Brandon Nimmo. They just Edwin Diaz. They're good, dude, and it's annoying because I feel bad for teams like Pittsburgh and Oakland. Like, baseball is not fair.
It's so lopsided. We live in Pittsburgh, so we hear it. It's like, we just want a fighting chance, and it's like, you don't have one.
No. Every great player you develop is going to get signed somewhere else. Now, we're Phillies fans, so we're usually in the top 5, top 10 definitely in payroll, but
it just sucks hearing you throwing all those names out there and going like, well, then there's a good chance we have to play the Mets, and are they just going to out-arm us the way the Astros did?
That's honestly the only weakness to their team is that their top line starters, Verlander and Scherzer, are old. Like old. Verlander's 39. He's going to be 40.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a great season. But it's just annoying that the fucking Mets already have had a great offseason, and now Carlos Correa is in there, and it's just annoying. But it's going to be a great baseball season.
Yeah.
So what do we got on the Sixers? They won 5 in a row. I know that much.
Won 6 in a row as of tonight. So they're turning around. They're 18-12. We're picking it up, and we don't have everybody back yet. So that's good. That's good news there. We're currently standing 5th in our division.
They're getting it together a little bit.
Yeah. Still, basketball, like we said, we'll get it there. Such a long season, and so many things can change. It's just,
hey, look, the Knicks are up there as the 6th seed right now. It's early, but good for the Knicks.
Yeah. And then boo Nets. So we'll do breakdowns of
a lot of basketball to go.
Flyers
suck, dude.
Flyers are atrocious. It's bad.
Everybody's hurt. They just keep getting injuries. They don't even have anyone to begin with.
Yeah, so Flyers, if I don't know if there's such thing as a white flag in professional sports, but if there was one, I think it's all, I know it's early. Just all of our young guys from like farm teams, just let them play and see if we can develop them for 6 years down the line from now. We're bad, and it's not going to get any better.
I don't even know with hockey is like I know there's AHL teams for every pro team, but it's not really like a farm. I don't know.
No, it's not like baseball.
They like sign high school kids out of Canada and shit. We just, dude. If it wasn't, I was looking at it. They're still selling, not sellouts, but close. Like the Flyers still selling a lot of tickets. If you're a diehard Flyers fan, if you keep spending all your money and they keep pulling a huge profit, they don't have as much incentive to fix what's wrong with this team.
And that's the thing, because when people say that, especially in Pittsburgh, people will go, well, if you want change, stop paying for tickets. No, baseball's totally different. They make so much money off their TV syndications. They're already paid making a bunch of money. Your tickets are just a little bit of extra bucks for them. Where the NHL ticket sales is what makes and breaks them.
Merchandise, yeah.
So yes, you are right.
Is the moneymaker, and it's just been going on too long. Like the bigger news to me is the MLS schedule drop for the Union, and honestly, I don't have a problem saying like I'm not a 4-for-4 guy anymore. I'm a 4-for-5 guy in the Philly sports world, and the Flyers are just out.
Yeah, and I mean, luckily we have basketball that they run on like the same schedule, because if we didn't have basketball, if we were like, that would suck. Could you imagine like if Penguins fans, the Penguins really suck? They have nothing to watch right now.
Yeah.
Well, especially when football's over, which will be soon for them.
That's why everybody should be a baseball fan. It's 6 months. But one last real quick word. Congratulations, Argentina.
Yes.
It sucks that we'll never get to experience in our lifetimes probably a celebration like that. Like if the U.S. somehow won a World Cup,
it still wouldn't mean as much to us as it does to them.
I think it would.
Dude, we have Super Bowls and shit. They don't have anything else.
Okay, but okay.
I know what you're saying, but
we like to get patriotic whenever we can.
Yeah, but dude.
All right, it wouldn't be like the celebrations to Argentina, but it would be really fucking cool.
We would be down. I'm just saying, as a whole, America, there's people that probably didn't even know that we like had a team that like made it into at least the, you know what I mean? Where Argentina, I mean, everybody. They probably didn't have any business. They probably shut down business for 3 weeks in that country.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations.
It was a great game.
How do you feel about it ending with penalty kicks?
The game ended in time for the Philadelphia Eagles game, and that's really what was important to me.
Because I have mixed feelings. Some people hate it. Some people.
I love it if I'm watching other teams. I don't like it if my team's in.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Speaking of the Union, we lost on PKs in the championship. But that was a great game. One for the ages. And congratulations, Argentina.
It is funny to see the memes that like now Messi has to go back to PSG, so it's like he has to go back to the country he just beat.
The French league.
But so so that's about it for the episode. We do want to say something. We're gonna leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger here. Stay tuned. We might be on the forefront of something. Okay, we're gonna be having another podcast out there. Now it's not for a little bit. And we're going to slowly give you tidbits of it, but it's going to be a new topic that nobody, I don't think, is covering some people scratch at the surface of it.
Yeah, we want to get it on the forefront, and the snippet I'll give, the little cookie crumb I'll drop, is that it is a Philadelphia sports franchise that we get to root for.
Yes.
And we're
gonna leave it at that. You know what? We'll keep giving little tiny hints.
That's what I'm saying.
And so if someone guesses it, we won't say mass. That's something. But if you guess it, we'll like directly message you. We'll DM you and say you were right. Now keep it quiet.
Right. When we get our hats made for the Homesick AML Media,
maybe we'll send you one if you guess it right. But that has been Homesick Philly Bros, presented by AML Media. Rachel, if you could just be so kind to give us our plugs while we kind of sign off here.
Okay. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All of our handles are on the screen, so take a screenshot or go to our website for all of the direct links. Our website is aml.news.blog.
Nate, I don't know if you watch this one, but look, I got your koozie, buddy. Thanks for everyone. Some of my friends have been saying they've been watching stuff. I appreciate it. Comment, make fun of us, whatever you want to do. Thank you very much. This has been Homesick Philly Bros. Now go out there and give it your all. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.